Good afternoon, everybody. This is Desiree, founder of An Empowered Woman and Homework. And Homework is where you can live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. So today I'm actually in Las Vegas. We're looking at properties for Homework in Las Vegas. I'm at a friend's house and some exciting opportunities here, so stay tuned. But I had the pleasure of speaking with Moneeka Sawyer, and she is the founder of Blissful Investing. And she calls herself, or they call her, the blissful millionaire. So, good afternoon, Moneeka. How are you doing today?
Hi there, Desiree. I'm great, and thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Well, being a blissful millionaire, I think if you're a millionaire, you're doing it right. It's a blissful living. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Well, you've done your work though. You've done your hard work and you've done your steps. So tell us a little bit about your story, how you got started.
Yeah. So actually, I am kind of a legacy. Like my parents came to the United States with $200 in their pocket,
Mhm.
and they heard that the golden ticket to wealth in the United States was to buy real estate. So they started investing in real estate. So I've kind of had real estate in my life for my entire life. And what's really cool, what really inspired me to move into real estate is that mom and dad, like I said, started with $200 in their pocket, but built a multi-million dollar real estate business here in the United States as immigrants. And they were able to pay for my college education, my sister's college educations, all of our weddings. So they've done some really amazing things, right?
Very result.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And so then when I graduated from college and I really wanted to get into real estate, my fear was that I was going to have all the stress that I saw my dad suffer. So he had made a lot of money, but he had also dealt with all of those things that we hear about, right? Like the tenants and the mortgages and the fixing the toilets and all of that stuff, right? And I didn't want that for my own life. And my dad, one day I was talking to him about this, and he said something really interesting to me that changed my life. What he said is, Monica, everybody has stress, everybody has fear, and everybody has money problems. Do you want poor people money problems? Or do you want rich people money problems? And, and
Mhm.
in that instant, I was like, okay, let's do rich people money problems.
There you go. Okay.
So but I really wanted the money without the problems, and so I
Yeah.
was very determined to create systems and a strategy where I could have the journey be blissful for me, because from my perspective, real estate is a long-term strategy.
Mhm.
My dad had been in real estate for many, many years, still is. I knew it was going to be a part of my life for a long time if I took this path. So it really needed to support the joy in my life rather than kind of sucking the life out of me like it did for so many investors. So that's why I focus so much on bliss. And I will say that I went from $10,000, I got a wedding gift for $10,000, and now I'm worth several $1,000,000. I've gone through that journey in real estate, and it has really been a joyful experience for me. And that's why I teach that to other people.
So the thing is that you're just such a positive, happy, uplifting person. Is it joyful and blissful because you brought that attitude to your real estate, or you just created such systems so you don't experience any of the toilet tantrums and tenants?
No, I do experience all of those things, but it really is the strategies that I use for myself. So creating bliss really, we can't control what happens out there in the world, right? But we can
Mhm.
control how we choose to respond. So bliss is really about the strategies to create bliss within yourself, but then also the systems to streamline the business. So it's kind of a combination of both. But it doesn't mean that challenges don't happen. They do in business and in life. Challenges happen. So who you are when you're dealing with those challenges is going to determine how blissful it is or not, right? So it's a
Mhm.
combination of both.
Okay, so define bliss.
Yeah, bliss is
Because usually it's not associated with real estate. So now
that's
you're
right.
saying real estate. So
Yeah. I know most people, when they think of bliss, they think of like sitting in a yoga position saying right? Or
yes,
they think of
yes,
other things we won't mention.
yes,
but
yes.
um but bliss to me is that deep sense of joy and contentment and the confidence that you can handle and emotional mastery.
And you teach women how to do that.
I do. I do. I do. I actually, the biggest way that people hear from me around this is I have a podcast called Real Estate Investing for Women, which I know you know about because you were on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And really, so I talk to experts like you. And then I also talk a lot about sort of my bliss philosophy around the different strategies that we hear about on the podcast. So that's a really easy way to kind of learn what I'm teaching around bliss in real estate.
And you also specifically gear it towards women. Why the women?
I don't think us women get enough support in this business. I think we're better at it than men because of a lot of our intuitive sense
Mm-hmm.
and kind of the way that women are built. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
think we get a lot of support. I think it's a very male dominated industry, and the men can teach us really, really good things. But as women, we have different needs, a different perspective, different goals. Men are kind of about the money, right? The money and the numbers. And us women really want it to be something that's a joyful experience in our life. And so for me, I really want to support women to build wealth in this way. And I want them to be able to do it in a way that I call blissful, right? That really is joyful for them.
So I know that you've built your wealth, and there's many different ways of building wealth. What are a few of the ways that you teach women how to do it, whether it's different asset classes or different? How do you do that? How do you share that blissful information that you have?
Yeah. So the very first thing that I do is really talk to people about, or to women about what it is that they're wanting in their life. Do they need cash flow, appreciation? What stage of life are they in? What are their resources? Do they have money to invest or not? Do they have a lot of time to dedicate to it or not? All of those things. And then we find a strategy that's really good for them personally. Now, my strategy, the one that I love, is I do all A-class properties, and I do long-term, and I have invested up until now mostly for appreciation. Now that's changing because I'm ready to retire. And so now cash flow is becoming a bigger issue, right? So
Mm-hmm.
even I'm evolving, and I learned so much from you and from my guests on my podcast, right? But really, it's about figuring out what's going to work best for them personally. Whatever strategy I love may not be the strategy that's best for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I help them to find the resources within themselves and without themselves, outside of themselves, to build the business that's going to be best for them and their life and their goals.
And so once they establish that, I understand that, sometimes, like you said, you either have the money or not, or you have the time or not, or you have expertise, or even have the credit. So you can be able to, women need to know they need to start where they're at. And whatever they don't have, be able to partner with somebody who has those missing links so they can get started. Because some people say, well, I don't have any credit, I don't have a job, I don't have any money. How can I start in real estate now? I think that's people's biggest hesitation, because it is a big, or seemingly a very big, commitment. So do you have any thoughts on that as far as with sharing someone that's being able to start and how they can start with where they're at?
Just start with where you're at and understand that people have been investing in real estate since the beginning of time. This is not something that's not intuitive. It's not a get rich quick thing. It's not a fly by night thing. Real estate is going to be here forever.
Mm-hmm.
And women are at a very base level built to be in real estate. We love our homes. We understand nesting. We understand families. We understand what makes a home livable. We understand what tenants need. We have a real intuitive sense. So really trust yourself. And, you're going to need to do some research on markets, but then when you start to invest, it's really hard to go wrong in real estate. Give yourself time to be right. So don't expect this to be like a get rich quick thing. Give yourself the time to be right, and just one step in front of the other. But the most important thing, don't get analysis paralysis. Action is the thing. So I always tell people, goals without action are just dreams. So get out there and take action, one step in front of the other, and it'll happen for you.
And so, Moneeka, you've spoken to so many professionals in the industry and so forth. What seemed to be the common denominator that they say throughout your interviews? There's so many people that seem to be consistent through other people need to implement, either mentally, physically, financially. What seems to be resounding advice?
There's two pieces of advice that I get from almost every single guest. The first one is take action, which I already said, because
Yeah.
nothing happens until you act, right?
Mhm.
And the second one is get a mentor that you trust, that has been successful at the strategy you're looking at and has been in the business long enough to see cycles. So you don't want to get a mentor that's only been investing since 2008 because it's been really easy to make money since then. You want someone who's been in the business long enough so they've seen the market's highs and the market's lows. They've had to recover, they've seen some pain, and they've seen a lot of success so that when you go through those things, they can guide you safely through them, rather than not having a reference point of where you're at. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It was actually we were talking about that. And that's not only in real estate, but just in business itself. Lots of times, if our investors are the people they were going to invest in people that have been through the storms, and if they failed and have rebounded because they feel if they go through a bad market and you can't handle it, and you can't rebound, then they've lost. And especially if you're looking for capital partners or investors, they need to know that you're going to be able to stick it through and stick it through the thick and thin. And it is typical. So there's going to be times where it's going to be higher or lower, but it's just being able to weather the storms and do
That's exactly right.
that.
And creating those good strategies, right? So that you can weather the storm.
Yes, yes. And so through all of that, the people that you've interviewed and the experience that you have, what seems to be the thing that, the one thing that holds people back, the one reason why they say they can or they don't or they won't do it?
So there's a couple. So the biggest thing is fear. But the fear is in different sort of baskets. There's the fear that I don't know enough. There's the fear that the market's going to go down. There's the fear that they can't do it, that they're not smart enough, right? So there's a lot of fear that stops people. And so what I really want people to understand is fear is a very natural thing and it protects us in so many ways. It keeps us alive. We're built with fear for a reason, right? But fear in real estate is not as well founded as we might think. Nobody knows enough. I will say I've been in the business 25 years, and with every single guest on my podcast, I learn something new. There's no way to know everything, but you need to know enough to get started. You don't need to see the top of the pyramid to take the very first step, right? So you can learn along the way, and that's good. Trust yourself and your intuition. Do enough research to get started and then start taking some of those steps. And all of those pieces have been dealt with. Finding the money, finding the right property, stepping through your fear, creating systems, building wealth, all of those things have been done by so many people before you. There's no reason you can't do it. So it's really getting through that fear and just taking one step at a time.
And that also lends to the value of having a mentor, like
Yes.
yourself. I mean, again, you don't have to do it alone. Don't go it alone. Don't pretend that you know everything because you don't and you won't. But going with somebody, aligning yourself with either a mentor or a partner or someone who's been there and done that, and because there's a lot, not everything is in the books. There's so much that happens that are not in the books that haven't been written in the book. So someone who's actually experienced it and be able to handle different obstacles or different objections a little differently. So first thing, would be align yourself with a group or organization or a mentor that can guide you through. That eliminates or mitigates the fear because you've got that to work with. And then being able to partner when you're doing something, when you're starting out, partner with somebody who's done it before and learn by that. Be that intern, shadow their, that, because it's better to give away something as opposed to having to lose everything by making a big, mistake. And you can, in real estate. So what else would you add?
I would also say community. So a mentor is really really important. Really finding other like-minded people that are going to talk you into success rather than talk you into fear, right? Because people around us are like, oh my gosh, real estate's really scary. Did you see what happened in 2008? Oh my gosh, are you sure you want to do that? That's kind of the general
Yeah.
attitude, right? And you really want to be around people that are like, oh yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is what I'm doing. People that want to talk about it and who talk about it positively and can help you to move forward, to kind of ride that enthusiasm, ride the knowledge base, right? Community is such a big part of building wealth. I think no matter what you're doing, whether you're building a business, whether you're doing real estate, the community of people that you have around you are really going to help you move much more quickly towards success. Would you agree with me on that?
Absolutely. And absolutely, you have an event that's designed for that. Tell us about this event you have coming up in March.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it.
I don't
It's
know.
called,
It's in San Jose,
yeah,
yes?
it's in San
All
Jose,
right, so tell us.
California.
Okay, so what's going to
Um,
happen that day?
just south of San Francisco. It is called the Real Estate Investing for Women Summit. And it's going to be a 2-day event. We're going to have some speakers. I'm going to be really talking about my strategies for bliss. So you're going to get strategies for bliss, figuring out how to get your resources all put together. There are going to be other people talking about different strategies that I'm not strong in. So you have access to those if those are what you're interested in. We're going to have people talking about where to find hidden money so that you can invest. So kind of this whole thing about how can you get started? And my intention is that women will walk out of that room ready to go, ready to start investing and to start taking the actions towards their success.
Fantastic. So when is it? Where is it? How do they get more information about it?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
March 21 and 22, 2020. Probably from 9 a.m. I'm still putting together everything, but 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. is what I'm looking at. Go to my website, blissfulinvestor.com. And then download a free report that I have that's kind of transparently tells you what I did, how I started from 10,000 and grew it to several million. That'll put you on my list. And then as I start to announce more about the event, you'll get that in your email, so right directly to you. So you'll know exactly what's going on.
Fantastic. So spell that out for us, blissfulinvestor.com.
Blissfulinvestor.com. So it's BLISSFULINVESTOR.com. Blissfulinvestor.com.
Awesome. So that sounds exciting. And the thing is, it's great to be able to attend, to learn, but also the network. I find the networking is collaboration because everyone's there to try to be able to work together and you do deals together and you'll be able to support each other. So it's a perfect opportunity. Yes, 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 yes. Us girls, yes. So in closing, what empowering thought would you leave our listeners with today?
There's two. The very first one is, remember, bliss is your birthright. You can choose to live blissfully every single day. And the second one is, goals without action are just dreams. So get out there, take action, and create the life your heart most deeply desires.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. And I want to thank our listeners today. I'm going to take this little information, whatever is worth, take a little bit and make your moves because you can do it. So this has been Desiree Dubois and Moneeka Sawyer, sponsored by Homework, where you can live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. Visit us at homework.com. That's HOMWORK, no E, HOMWORK.com. And until we meet again, stay empowered. Thank you.
Bye.